you so much for coming in.
Thank you
Good
for
morning,
having
good
me
morning.
back. Love being here.
Well, we'll see about that in
yeah.
a second.
We'll
how
see.
this-
Skip did not hug his wife. Talk about, I'm going to wait till after the
I
segment
did. She
to
hugged
give you a
everybody
hug.
out here, but I want to see how
We
this
were-
goes.
We were the only ones to give her a prize.
When he tried to give you a hug, Ernestine, after the segment, Heisman posing.
He's going to say I'm a jinx already. He'll say I jinxed you because I hugged him.
Okay, let me say something nice before we start.
Thank you.
We've been together for about 15 years now, and this has been the hardest football season of my life, thanks to my Dallas Cowboys. So I want to publicly thank you for being a saint and putting up with me through all those psycho Sundays, because I have been psycho, and I have a feeling I'm about to be even psycho-er this Sunday when they play the Eagles.
Oh, this is the heads up. This is great. I have like 3 more days of this. Okay.
Here we go.
Maybe you
Okay.
should book a trip somewhere.
I think immediately directly to Miami.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You have a fantastic book out right now. If folks haven't read it, Balls, How to Keep Your Relationship Alive When You Live with a Sports-Obsessed Guy. It's fantastic for any
Thank
avid
you.
sports fan. So you have to fill us in. As Skip said, a roller coaster season, as much as I can remember, for any Cowboys team.
Yes.
What has it been like coping, living with him the past few months?
It has been sheer hell. Okay? Excuse my language. So the day that he threw Zeke's jersey in the garbage and then took it back out, that is just the start of what it's been living with him. So if Zeke's mom thinks that was bad, try doing this 24/7. Not easy.
So it started with game number 2 for me. And you know, I've got all kinds of good luck charms and jinx beaters, and I've tried everything to right the wrongs of this season, most of them unsuccessful. But I did find one lucky charm for a little while. Game number 2 at Washington. You'll remember this. My team fell behind quickly 7-0 thanks to a Dak Prescott interception. You've been all over him. He's thrown way too many more picks than Mitchell Trubisky. And he threw one at Washington that put them in a 7-0 hole that lasted all the way into the second quarter. You had gone to New York City to start your first media tour to promote your book. It's a great book. I'm all for you going to New York. But
Lucky
you left,
me, leaving him.
But
Yes.
you left me alone with our little 3-year-old Maltese, Hazel. So I was so desperate in the second quarter of that game that I went and picked up Hazel in the other room, brought her into my little TV room, and we stood right beside the TV, giant screen TV, and I'm holding her under my arm. And guess what happened? Magic happened. Dak Prescott went 97 yards in 7 plays, culminating with a 51-yard bomb to, do you remember this? Devin Smith. Whatever happened to Devin Smith? But he was my guy at that point. Look at this. Look at this. And I'm going, Hazel! Thank you, Hazel! Look at this. What a throw and a catch this was. Beautiful. And guess what? I stood holding Hazel. I let her down when Redskins had the ball. I held Hazel the rest of that game, and they had the ball 6 more times. They go 83-11, 75-9, 68-11, 54-10, and then kill the clock 45-6 to hold off the Redskins 31-21. And I thought, I got magic under my arm. I got Hazel. And she worked against the Dolphins the next week because it was the Dolphins, right?
Anything would have worked against
And then guess what happened? My team went to your team, Jen. Went to New Orleans. Remember that night game?
Yep.
How could I forget? It's fantastic.
It was 12-10 Saints, Teddy Bridgewater Saints, and you were all over me because I gave up on Hazel. I threw her out after halftime.
Really, how could this man believe that this dog has the power
She
to
does.
change
She has
a game?
the power. Or
I
she
don't
did,
understand
but it only
him.
stayed for a little while.
Well, the minute I walk into the apartment, and if I don't see Hazel jumping up at my feet, I know that he has her in the room.
Locked in
and
the
then,
room.
look, the minute I walk in the apartment and Hazel is running at my feet, I have to tread lightly because I know he's flipping out in the other room.
I am screaming obscenities at the TV. I have tried every combination. I have 3 cowboy hats, 3 jerseys, and 3 T-shirts, and I've tried them all in different combinations. And I found one that I think worked because it worked against the Rams that I'm going to try against the Eagles. I will not publicly divulge what it is, or it might sap its charm.
Ernestine, you're more woman than I could ever be man because when he's very short with me, and maybe it's because I do needle him a little bit, and I know you walking around on eggshells, but he's really short. He snaps at me.
Oh, yeah.
How are you able to handle that 24/7?
I just walk out of his room. I just tune him out. I mean, really, after a while, it's just like, it's white
So
noise.
what have you learned to do on game day?
I stay away.
She leaves
I have
the
no. I go somewhere, anywhere, movies, the mall, the grocery store, 14 times in one day, just so and then I look at the scores on my phone, and I know if his team is losing, especially Cowboys. That we're talking about the Cowboys. Cowboys are number one. If the Cowboys are losing, I go to the car wash. I just do everything I can in my power just not to come back.
And Patriots are number 2, right?
Oh yeah, Patriots number 2. And
But
then
it's
if
not even in the same.
No, but if I have to come back, eventually I do live there. I have to come back. I make no noise, and I go in my office, and then
That's
I
a
put the
shame,
TV
Skip.
on in my office, and I watch it in my office, and then I hear him from the other side of the room, the house. He's yelling, and the poor dog is shaking. She's in my office, and then I have to deal with him, and then he comes in. And actually, Hazel, you know how they have service dogs?
Right.
Hazel has become his service dog because Hazel brings him out of his funk.
That's true.
Not me. He'll be mad at me, but Hazel, she just has to look at him, and then he just softens up. So thank God.
So when the Cowboys are winning, she'll come straight home at the end of the game.
And then
because
I
she
open
know
the
I'll
door
come
and I
out
say-
like this.
No, but then what I do is I try to be really nice, and I open the door, I knock on the door, congratulate. I'm tweeting.
so it's
So I
always
can't
something.
win. And then by the time it's like an hour later, it's old, and he'll come. So what did you say? I said, forget it. Don't worry about it. It's over.
Yeah, that's a shame. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, you
Okay,
should be
speaking
ashamed
of being
yourself.
ashamed of yourself, I remember a certain Monday when Shannon
What
Sharpe
happened?
came in with no voice because Shannon had
I can't
actually
remember
attended
that,
a game
Shannon.
in Denver
Okay.
because there was some Hall of something going on.
Yeah, Mr.
right?
Bolin and the champ received
Okay.
their Hall of Fame rings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you watched a certain game at Mile High up in a suite,
Yeah,
right?
I was in the owner's box.
You're in the owner's box, and yet you're watching Cowboys at Jets.
Yeah.
And my team fell behind that day,
Yeah,
21
yeah,
to 3,
yeah,
and then roared back.
Yeah.
And what were you doing in the owner's suite?
I was yelling, and there was nothing going on the field, and people was wondering why I was yelling.
That's normal in my
I
house.
was yelling because
Gotcha.
the Jets were beating the brakes off the Cowboys.
Right,
Gotcha.
Right.
And I kind of lost my voice.
Yeah.
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 Am
But
I right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
happens. But Skip, see, the thing is, it's because of him,
Yeah.
Ernestine, that he makes it so easy for you to root for the team that he root against the team that he's rooting for.
Of course.
Because he goes ridiculous overboard with it.
You have no idea.
It's not like the
Shannon.
Cowboys know, well, you know what? Skip's got Hazel in his arm. Let's score a touchdown here.
Right, and then,
Oh,
but then I say to him, I try to talk reason. Skip,
Good
do you
luck.
think that these guys want to lose? Do you think they want to play and they say, I'm going to lose? I don't care. I don't care. I go, they don't want to lose. They go in thinking they're going to win. There's no talking to them.
Okay, but she always says to me, it's not your fault. You know, I say, well, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. That's my
I go,
fault.
you didn't know? How did the guys didn't know they were losing?
so now,
You should
now
know.
he thinks he should be in Vegas because he
Right,
can pick it all
he's
right
picking the odds.
and make a lot of money.
There is nothing. So right now I'm just wondering, what am I going to do on Sunday? I have to play on this.
What
This
happens
Sunday.
happens if the Cowboys lose Sunday?
I'm thinking about getting a room at Mr. C's.
Yeah. This is a huge
This
game.
is a
Hotel,
big one.
yeah.
This is hotel night.
Skip, that's a shame. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
He should
You-
be
You
ashamed.
got your wife's on TV saying, you know what, I'm afraid to come to my own home and do normal things that a loving wife should be able to
Exactly.
do.
Or just
because
live.
Yes. And you acting crazy because of Cowboys.
I think I'm going to do a second book, and it's just going to be about cowboy jinxes. That's what it's
Right.
going to be.
See, her favorite line to me is, do you think wearing that T-shirt or holding that dog will affect the game at Soldier Field in Chicago on a Thursday night? Yes, I do.
And if I happen to walk into the room and they just scored, he makes me stand there, and I can't leave the room.
What happened last
Last night,
Yeah.
right.
She happened to walk in just out of the blue.
Yeah.
She brought my dinner.
I brought
in,
your
right?
dinner, as
And-
a good
and it
wife
was like
does.
the second
Right.
quarter of the game that we bet a case on. It's at Milwaukee
Yeah.
versus LeBron. And all of a sudden, 3-ball, bam, 3-ball, Giannis from like 30 feet away, bam.
And he
she
says,
starts
"Maybe
to
you
walk away.
should
And I said,
stay."
you know what? Maybe you should sit
So
down
I'm
for
not
a second.
staying for the rest of the game.
I have things to do.
I have things to do, like a life.
So I want everybody out there to understand the elation and mostly deflation that I've had to go to, because there's never been a season, to your original point, like this one. Because remember, they get 3 patsies to start off
Right.
with, and you kept saying they're beating nobody.
Right.
But they beat them badly.
Yeah.
They look like world beaters, and all of a sudden, New Orleans happened. And then 31-3 down to Aaron Rodgers happened. And 21-3 down to the Jets happened. They'd lost, 4 in a row, and Sam Darnold had mono and came back, and all of a sudden...
Minnesota happened, Chicago happened.
It's just excruciating. The pain of it is insufferable.
Loved it.
And then we had that stretch of at Patriots, Bills on Thanksgiving, and then Mitchell Trubisky.
It's insufferable for me.
I know.
Forget about that.
I got it. But the painful truth of all this is, at 7-7, all they have to do is go win at Philadelphia, and they're in the playoffs.
Ernestine, what if your team, you have a team, and playing his team, and your team wins? Can you celebrate?
No, I have to. Even when I liked Kawhi, when he was still my guy and it wasn't his guy, I would have to go in my room and say, wow, that was
true.
great. Because he would be mad at me.
I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't even sit still.
You're out of the house.
True. I'd be bounced out. Hazel could stay, and I'd be bounced out. So there's no living. Part 2 on the book.
You're way worse. I thought I was bad.
No.
But you're way worse than I am.
All I know is you deserve an amazing Christmas gift. You have a lot of ground to make up here.
Ernestine,
you need to be very good to her.
I love you.
I love you too, Skip.
Sometimes, huh?
We'll see on Sunday. That'll be the
Right, exactly. We'll see if you come home this Sunday night or not.
Ernestine, you should have held off on that I love you till after the game on Sunday.
Shannon, Bel Air, get the extra room ready.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.